You guys ready to take a trip down memory lane? Or should I say nostalgic memory lane? Okay. That's what we're about to revive in today's video. Let's do it.
Let the lesson begin.
What's up guys, Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. Today's take is a bit different than some of the other videos, so hopefully you'll hear me out as I bring to you some pretty important info and a little bit of nostalgia for those of you that have probably been around a while. If you actually do remember these videos or don't know what they are, then I suggest just like searching on YouTube, coaching Akariss, and you'll probably find these videos there. Or of course you just go on the channel and go on videos, you'll find it there. Either way, if you do remember these, then feel free to let me know in the comments below, because these were definitely of much simpler and older times, not only for FEH itself, but as a content creator. However, times have changed, and I'm here a couple of years later to give you guys some more info and hopefully maybe help you out, because these guys here don't necessarily have to be just those guys. What this video is going to do is just explain how coaching has changed for me and the players that are involved in my coaching, and of course how I'll actually just literally show you guys a live session. I had a more public live session. As you'll see, the duration of this video is quite long, and that's because I did do a live coaching on Twitch about a month ago from this video, so I figured I'd share that with you guys. It's not edited because I want you to get the full experience of how exactly a session goes. So coaching in general is now private. I don't necessarily show it off to the world anymore. This was more like humor, entertainment, and obviously the video you'll see in the rest of this is also a little bit more humor and entertainment. But I wanted to explain why coaching is important and show you what you can actually expect if you have any interest in it. If you don't, it's cool. Just watch this video and enjoy the entertainment value of somebody else learning from taking the most out of their FEH experience. But if you want to understand why coaching is so important to even me personally, it's because I'm actually a teacher. Like, as a teacher, it's very satisfying to be able to work with others one-on-one and obviously in some group scenarios and be able to pass on that information that I have, and that's why something like coaching is so important to me. You'll notice if you've been watching long enough, as this channel has been around for quite a while now, is there are no sponsors. There are no Raid Shadow Legends, there are no VPNs or whatever on this channel, not because I don't think that those could potentially be good, but because I don't have an interest in it, and because I don't have an interest in it, I'm not invested in those products, and I can't like sell out, so to speak. And I guess you could assume that this video itself is a form of selling out, but in reality, I'm just passing on more information for you guys to potentially support this content, and maybe you join in and get most out of your FEH experience. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be me selling out, I guess, but realistically you should go and maybe check out the Metafy link in the description below. I'll show you some screenshots, what exactly you can expect out of this, and maybe sign up and have some one-on-one with me, and we'll get some laughs, and maybe you'll enhance your experience. There's been quite a few people who have done this already, and it's been really satisfying to be able to help those people, and I'd love to be able to get you guys and the information for it. A lot of people on my current clientele for coaching said they found me through a YouTube video where I briefly mentioned it, so I figured I'd do a full video, and maybe you guys, some of you, will sign up and actually take your experience of this entertainment to the next level, get the most out of it. And that's where I am. So if you want to support the content, it doesn't have to be through Patreon or Discord or Twitch or anything that I usually mention through the other videos, because that's all optional. Everything is at the end of the day. But rather, maybe you get something out of it, which is this coaching experience one-on-one with me, and maybe you'll really like it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you won't sign up. That's fine. Either way, it's here for me to mention it and provide you with a video, which has been long overdue, because these ones have been they haven't been here for a while. Now, why should I even provide coaching? Well, even to this day, I am technically perfect in terms of the F2P FEH competitive modes, meaning the collectibles, the golden thrones, and the arena crowns that you get for having a entry into the highest top 1k, top 3k, or tier 21, staying in tier 21, those are still perfect to this day, which means that I haven't dropped out of the highest rankings of the game for those competitive modes, despite all the metas, ups and downs, fallen Edelgards, legendary Sigurds, Peonies, Knots, Triandras, Refines, power creep here and there, whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, I've been through all those metas and I've experienced quite a lot of this game to be able to pass on this information. So this is just a preview of what you could expect if you head up the Metafy site, and there's a lot of ways to get into it. I've noticed with a lot of people who engage with me in coaching are kind of hesitant to get into something like Aether Raids, maybe just like the performance anxiety, or it's just a little bit overwhelming, and I totally understand that, which is why I try to make sure that when we go through these sort of sessions that it's really easy to get into. Like, you can just press the button, I explain the mechanics fully, I give you that confidence in your barracks. Honestly, a lot of barracks, even from new players, end up being better than what I have by today's meta standards of this video. People have like Yuri and Brave Erica. I don't have those, and those are already super strong units for something like Aether Raids. And then in Arena, a lot of people already have like merged favorites from, because legendaries tend to be a lot of the favorite characters, so it's really easy for me to see the barracks of people in these like merged characters that just don't use the full potential, and I just give you that boost of confidence to get into these modes and start winning and start enjoying and taking the max potential of these characters to the limit. So by doing this though, like, why is it important, is because not only do you get more of an experience out of this, like you don't just go from playing a collectathon, you don't just go from playing Pokemon collecting cards or Yu-Gi-Oh collecting cards or Magic or whatever, but you actually take those cards and start playing with them. And that's kind of the same approach here in this gacha game. So you collect your favorite characters, you feel like you've conquered all there is to play in the game except the competitive aspects, and then you take those characters and you're like, oh wow, this isn't so bad, I can do this. And that's effectively what this is. I've had people who've never touched the modes head up all the way to the top tier in a couple months. I've had people in Arena, just not even understand how the scoring system works with rallies and merges and such. And I just tell them, hey, this is how it works, this is what you have, and this is how you get it done. And then they start collecting all these rewards. They start collecting the heroic grails, they start collecting more feathers or crowns or whatever, the golden crown on Fed, whatever it ends up being, to whatever you take out of it. And it's nice for me to be able to share that information, to see that progression, and then for you to put those characters that you really enjoyed working on in this game over the span of these years, and finally seeing them to their full potential by doing things, playing against other players, and seeing that fruition, so to speak. So yeah, and I've been through a lot of the ups and downs. Of course, I wanted to share some of the really old school stuff here, my old screenshots from years back in 2019, where AR didn't even have Vault of Heavens, and this is like the end of the season before Mythics were dominating every. There was just pretty much like only Air was the only Mythic, I think, at this time, or maybe there was like Duma as well, but there's some very early screenshots where you can basically push all this way, not all the way to top 50 anymore, but you can definitely get into top 1k if you play the long-term game, you understand the systems, and you want to achieve it. And even if you don't play into the systems, you can still rank really well and get the most out of your experience and favorite characters, which is what I really wanted to push in this video. And hopefully by sharing the coaching experience, just making you aware of it, maybe you'll sign up, maybe you won't, and that's fine, but it is another way to support the content I do, to keep me here for years to come, as long as FEH's alive. And yeah, a lot of my students told me, hey, you should do this, share the coaching session I did, and here I am sharing that, and I'm sharing why it could potentially be good for you if you wanted to do it. Either way, that's it from me, guys. My moment of quote-unquote selling out is over. You're not going to see sponsors after this. I'm not, desperately trying to get as much out of this channel as possible. I'm just trying to share my passion in this game, and hopefully you guys, I can share that with you and improve your experience with it as well. Maybe check out the Metafy below, maybe the Patreon if you want to show a little bit of whatever it is you enjoy of this content that I do on a weekly, daily, as much as I can put out basics. If not, you can always drop into Twitch and ask some quick questions. Whatever works for you, man. I love each and every one of you for being here through the years to come. So I hope you enjoy the coaching session that I had on Twitch about a month ago or so, after this portion here where I basically rambled for about a couple minutes, a lot of minutes explaining what this is all about. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one. You can smash the like button too. It helps. Shows that you like this type of video. And the comments, you know, if you remember the old sessions, tell me, or even this particular coaching session, what you liked out of it. Feel free to let me in the comments, or even what you'd like to see maybe in these sessions and such themselves. I'd like to see some feedback and show that you guys have something to take out of this. Either way, love you all. See you in the next one. Enjoy. All right, I am talking right now with Ignius. Ignius, can you say hi?
Hello, chat.
So that is not my screen on stream. That should be yours, Ignius. Want to introduce yourself and show chat some of your most prized possessions before we begin for real?
Yes. I've been a long-time Akariss follower for about 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years. And then been playing FEH on and off. Recently got back into FEH after IRL kind of flatlined and has been really stable. Love the streams, love all the good content. This is my prize joy.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He'll be finished late January, hopefully.
Okay, I have to ask, do you just not have Aether? Is that why he's running Astro?
Yeah, I have one Crom, but I'm not gonna fodder a Crom just yet. I have no reason to until after, because there may be something on that banner that could give him Deadeye or let's say what's his name? Lethality. No, Lethality is only for daggers. Yeah,
you're thinking of Deadeye, but
yeah, thank you.
But yeah, it's just Emu suggesting to run Aether. I mean, it's an arena build, man.
The teaching's already begun.
Yeah, so this session should hopefully help you out quite a bit. So that's the intention as you've revitalized this account, and hopefully others in the stream environment can get something out of this. I'm sure you know the basics, so I won't have to rerun or run into any of that. But yeah, let me know what you're really trying to get into and understand, so I can understand that, and then we'll start focusing on those things.
So it's actually mostly Aether Raids in terms of building a defense and or working towards building a defense. I mean, it's an early account, so there's not much to build with, but like, this is what I'm working with. This is just 4 horses, just hopefully we can pick off 1 unit type
The
of thing.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Just literally, literally that. We're likely not gonna touch on AR defense. There's no reason to. I don't usually. Defense is like the last thing I usually talk with anyone on in these coaching sessions. It's really insignificant up until you're literally in Vault of Heavens, where it matters whether you drop in or stay, or drop out rather. So defense, don't worry about it. What is the focus is gonna be offense for sure.
Okay. So, I mean, I run in with 1 raiding party at all times, really. I don't... Not necessarily to say that I don't know how to build other comps. I just need... I guess that is it. I don't really know how to build other comps and where to use, you know, not fodder necessarily, but where do I start? Because, like, I have units that I could use for this. Like, you know, Erica, I've got things I could use for, like, Gale Force, or not even Gale Force, just, like, Kanto hit and run strats. But right now, this is all I'm running because this feels like the strongest thing I could build as of right now, at least in late season.
I thought for a moment you were gonna click on Fallen Edelgard and be like, "Yeah, I got this," because I've had a few of those already.
that's my. I got tired. I don't want to like worry about PvE, so I just throw that in there and just let it have fun. That's literally it.
Okay, so first of all, Fallen Edelgard is actually quite good to get yourself up to Vault of Heavens, because people struggle to counter her properly until then. So it's not even a meme that you could genuinely be using Fallen Edelgard up until Vault of Heavens. As much as I love to meme on it, it is a viable option.
Okay.
You only have a single team? Is this an Astra too?
No. When I'm in Astra, I believe this was because he was. Or I think it was Earth. It was Earth last season.
Are you kidding? Why does everyone have Plumeria except me? Like, what? Literally everyone.
So because I came back and like I started the Thor A-Tree banner is when I started here. So the only thing I was rerolling for was Plumeria Thor, so that I could have three Astra Mythics at one, first, and then assuming I would get another Light Mythic eventually. But I didn't know Ash was coming out at the time.
Okay, yeah, you have the fundamentals down for team comp creation. It's just a matter of working with your barracks to make things work. How is your actual success rate in AR? Like, are you winning? Are you losing? Are you losing ladders? Like, how's that
I've had to
experience?
ladder. I've had to ladder once, and that was just because it was like all of a sudden, like sometimes I'll face like pretty like generic teams, and then there was one time where I faced this heavily invested +10 double save comp, and I'm like, oh okay, I'll just ladder here. I really
I
don't.
mean, that's what the ladder is for. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can't beat everything. I'm struggling to see what you're actually having trouble with then.
It's, I guess it's just the foundation of where to kind of lay the foundation of where to go from here in terms of building the team right now. And we're building future teams, we're building future ideas for that.
Hmm. As someone who regularly attends streams, I'm assuming you understand the main strategies that work, which are Gale Force, Hit and Run, tanking. Pretty much those three. I wouldn't even say Vantage anymore, unless you had Bernie, which you probably don't, right?
No, I don't have Bernie. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you understand the fundamentals of melee Gale Force, range Gale Force, tanking, and hit and run, then you already probably know how to create team comps, so I'm not going to add a lot of value to. You want to talk more about your long-term goals? Because I don't see you struggling with Aether Raids, to be totally honest. And I don't want to spend the time of this session talking too much about that if I feel like you know how to make team comps and you know how to execute, because you're not having trouble with like laddering too many games either. So it might be more important to talk about where you see your account in 6 months.
All right. So the plan as of right now, long term, I mean, unfortunately, it is based off summoning wise, right? For the most part, is I do want to. This is my first mythic to probably hit +10 this year, more than likely, with just how the new gacha works with the
What
fed
was your
packs.
cost on that, out of curiosity?
I believe I only went to Spark twice, and I think maybe 350 orbs, 350 to 400, I would assume total, because this was legendary banner and this was her initial debut.
Pretty good for a new player, yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Emo has a good point. Yeah, go back to Aether Raids for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Edit Aether Keep. Build Improve. Go to the bottom. Max those.
Oh.
Max both of those right now. Like, that's not even a question of whether you should or shouldn't. Those should be absolutely maxed.
Got it. And that was another thing, was using where to use resources.
No. This is like not even a question of whether you should or shouldn't. It's just the first thing you upgrade.
Got it. Okay. Assuming he's doing okay, got it.
They give you more matches per season in total,
Yeah.
which is obviously important for ranking up more so than anything else. And the only other thing you'd be working on would be your forts. I believe that defense should be upgraded before offense, because offense apparently gives you that difference now. Somebody in chat can correct me on that. I think that defense is supposed to be upgraded before offense, because of offense being like gap closing or something. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not. Somebody in chat has to confirm that for me, because I don't remember if that was what it was. Offense is always level 5. Okay, yeah. So basically, you're going to be upgrading your defense fort before your offense fort. That's where you should spend your divine due. Don't spend any of your stones on any buildings. Just say, yeah. Don't upgrade, especially don't upgrade offense buildings, and you probably shouldn't upgrade defense buildings either.
Okay, good to know.
Can upgrade the Aether one more time. Check again. Can you upgrade something again? Yeah. So that would be your next upgrade.
Okay, got it. Good to know.
That's a good catch.
Thank you, Emo.
I mean, we would have revisited the screen, and I would have noticed it too. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is a very important thing to upgrade your ether to the max. Go back to what you see your account being in 6 months.
Okay, so yeah, I do have outlined. I've outlined, I think, two of my arena seasons. Being, I do want to do or Wind and Fire. I want to do Ephraim and Lucina. That's just due to favorites and my history with them. I don't want to build. I don't want to build something I don't have a clue or have any history with that unit.
Mm-hmm.
The third one I'm still waiting on. I haven't decided, and I don't know if I should decide early because of what's going on, or should I was thinking about waiting. Honestly, I was thinking about using Alm because I think with Ash's next rerun, she's with Alm and Mila, I believe.
You're talking a lot about arena instead of AR, and I actually, in terms of priorities, I would recommend most people start with AR over arena.
AR over.
Yeah. So I like that you're mentioning your priorities being Lucina and Ephraim. That's a good thing, but they should actually be pretty low priority, and to be honest, would take you about a year to even complete, I'd say. Whereas with AR, that's actually really important to consider because the rewards from AR are more time gated than those from arena, and easier to get into. Whereas with arena, you're not really missing out on anything by just hovering around tier 18, 19, or 20 over someone who's 21. So focus on AR right now. We'll revisit arena though in a moment.
Oh, for sure. Okay. I so right now in terms of AR, I do know. I mean, there's no reason not to make Thor, Plumeria, and Reagan my Astra mythics. I think I've got those outlined.
You don't. No. You don't have to sit yourself into that mentality because they're not merged.
Yes. Okay.
It's not like my case where I have like Peony at +6. That's a big one for me to have to commit to Peony. You don't have to commit to any mythic except Ash, I would say. Ash should be absolutely core. Everyone else is open.
Okay. Got it.
Continue.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me recheck my thoughts here. Yeah, I think in terms of AR, I don't know where to put the investment in terms of should I wait for it, should I wait for remixes or should I just be summoning the brand new unit? That's kind of where I'm having issues kind of making my decisions at is, and I know that's just that should be my decision, right? As soon as if I see the unit and I like it, then I should.
That's a good question. There is a new strategy that I would recommend implementing because you are Fed Pass, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. You should be sparking every remix and every legendary banner in some manner.
Okay.
There shouldn't be like a legendary or remix banner that passes you that you're probably not going to get something of value there. So let's assume that mythics, the OG mythics, do end up on remix banners next month. Then yes, I would highly recommend merging mythics there. The one that will likely, for Astra season, that'll likely end up there is Naga. So, yes, you should start there with Naga, and you should work towards that. Now, the beauty is, if they do end up mixing mythics and legendaries on remixes, then maybe Naga could share with legendary Lucina or Ephraim. That would be really good for you. If they don't, it's still not a huge deal, and you should still be merging mythics in that manner. But on top of that, you should be looking at the Astra Mythics for sparking on legendary banners and mythic banners. So I believe there's Regan Plumeria coming up in February and March. That's a good example of sparking and potentially merging them there as well. So this is what you need to consider. It's overlap between multiple projects. Thor, for example, stands out as not really sharing with many options except Dogger and Freya. So while that could be really good, it's definitely like not something you can say, oh yeah, Thor is a project, or like Thor is definitely happening, especially since she's not merged. So it's not when like the stars align and you're just saving orbs, that's when you spend them towards multiple hits, such as Regan and Plumeria. And then anything that's not overlapping is just a spark towards whatever your highest merged option is. So since you have an advantage in light season in the form of Ash, you really don't need to be focusing on light. So let's say Air and Naga are on the upcoming Mythic remix, you should be looking at Naga more than you should be looking at Air, because you already are fine in light season. Not totally fine, but it's definitely more advantaged in that area. So you want to try to equalize your Astra and light to some extent.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, no, for sure.
As for who that ends up being, it's not really that important. You can definitely
No.
pick your favorites though. Like if Thor is your, I don't know, favorite, then sure, look for when the overlap between Thor, Freya, and or Dogger happens. Those be good things to consider long term. And of course, if it doesn't happen, then just start sparking regardless. One thing I saw mentioned in the Discord recently was with legendary banners, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's still ideal to snipe that particular color for an extra copy, but it doesn't have to be the route to go. So let's say you end up with a scenario where, like, let's say Thor is your main project, right? And then Ash is, like, sharing with, like, Mila and Ashera, right? That'd just be some sort of dream scenario, but I mean, Thor is still a project, but there's like so much value in colorless. You could be summoning colorless, but then you just spark Thor. So you don't have, let's say she's sharing with something trash. Like she's literally sharing with like Kaden and I don't know. Gatekeeper. I don't just something super trash, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Right? So you don't want to summon green there because it's just so bad and colorless is so good. So what you should be doing is summoning colorless and then just spark green. This is a solid alternative strategy, especially if Ash ends up being another project of yours, but you don't necessarily have to spark her, right?
Yeah.
That's your mentality looking at the current banners and the future banners and how you can make the most out of it.
Okay.
I'm just taken aback by Virion just staring at me.
Don't judge this Virion. No, it's not. He's great.
Oh boy.
It's great. He's lovely. He gets finished in late January, and he's a blessing in disguise.
Right. Okay, so what I recommend with everyone is literally making sure you have your eyes on the mythic legendary reruns and trying to plan ahead for which banner ends up being most appealing for you. Plans will always change. Always change. I say this all the time. Even I have original goals that like look appealing, but then I change my gears. For example, I was looking at Julia Peony months ago, for example, because Peony's +6 for me, Julia's +4 for me, so that seems like a really good share. But in hindsight, I don't need to go there right now because like those are just my advantageous seasons. For example, you have Ash at +5, and let's say you had another mythic or another legendary that was colorless at also +5 but was a project. You could end up skipping that scenario because there'd just be more important things to merge, such as an Astra mythic that has no merges for you right now, and I think that would be the most important thing to look for, including like Naga. Like that's why I'm saying Naga, because likely that ends up being the case.
I mean, also Naga's not that Pepega. She at least offers some utility.
It's Altina with dragon effectiveness providing. That's what it is. Anyways,
Like that's more than Altina offers. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so I think that covers goals in a way that's really useful. I don't really recommend, even as a new player, I don't recommend summoning on random banners here and there. There's just no reason. Your barracks will naturally accumulate over the span of tickets and free summons and whatnot over the span of a year. You already have good options as it is. I'm pretty sure your Maribel there wasn't a targeted summon, for example, or your NY Valoria wasn't a targeted summon. Like, these are examples of your barracks just kind of filling out its roles naturally without you having to necessarily target those units. So anything that isn't a mythic and legendary doesn't provide any direct progression to your account and should generally be avoided. This can be made exceptions to when it comes to like, oh my god, favorite characters, but at that point you know the cost and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I didn't mention with all this is duo heroes. And duos, in my opinion, stand as the last thing you should consider. Okay. When you've already completed legendaries and mythics, that's when you should consider them.
Yeah, and that's where, like, on the account, I think I've made 2 mistakes in my whole, like, so, 2 small mistakes. I think I can make them pluses in the end. is I summoned for Dogger, which I really shouldn't have. I should have waited because we have Anniversary coming up, and yeah, there was just I shouldn't have summoned for her. And then it was for some reason in my head, because I did want to go for Legendary Azura at some point. I was like, yeah, let me summon on the B dual flying banner, and I just wasted orbs there too. So it was kind of a
Yeah, those are the type of things that will set you back. So just be careful. Definitely, those are the type of things that set you back. And I'm speaking from someone who wasted orbs on Fallen Metal Guard, so.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For some reason, I thought I'd have more questions, and not to say that I don't.
No, that's okay. We can focus on a mode in particular and shape out the account better. Perpendicular says Dagger is still a solid investment. Again, I completely disagree. If your account has legendaries and mythics that need merging up, there is no point in having more than a one-off of Dagger. And even then, I still wouldn't think that's useful. There's just no reason to have it. Like, sure, you could argue it's really good on defense, it can score really well, but she'll eventually get benched, and by the time you complete your legendaries and mythics, there's going to be a new Dagger coming by next year. So, absolutely not worth the orbs. You said you sparked her, right?
Yeah, that's even worse, as I went for the spark. Like,
so yeah, that's definitely an orb sink that I would have been against. Like, that's not a good, that would not be a good use of orbs. Especially on a fresh account. Like, it'd be more justifiable if you already had your legendaries and mythics merged up. But as a new account, they're just orbs are way too high value to be sparking characters that don't directly contribute some sort of progress to your account. Yeah. I mean, that's how I stand on it. Things like defense really don't matter in the grand scheme of things until you're up in Vault of Heavens, and then you can really make do with budget options. I've been running a restore trap with like Bridal Micaiah for half a year, so.
Yeah, and that's where, like, watching, like, over the years that I've watched, is like this one off pool that wasn't planned is really cool, because I do like the idea of using her refine in a defense type setup. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's focus on AR then, since that should be where a lot of risk will come. If you played before, then you probably already understand the mechanics of Arena, that I don't have to focus on that over AR, right?
Yeah, Arena is not something I'm totally worried about. I'm definitely not worried about Arena, for sure.
Right. How familiar are you with AR? Like, in terms of bonus buildings, and I mean, you didn't know how to upgrade the Aether buildings, so that implies to me that you don't fully understand AR, or was that just
it was a like paralysis of
resources?
Like, I didn't know if I should be upgrading these right away, but then again, I didn't know if those leaves go to anything else. You know, that's where I was like, is this more important? I mean, it is more important. I get to play more AR for sure. But that's where I was. It was just more or less paralysis of, like, I didn't know if I should be doing this right now or not.
Okay.
And then I noticed there was something in your last it was one of the last one or the one before that you stated that, because I don't understand. I think I'm scoring the max potential I can here with having air as the bonus.
Air the bonus? You mean
yeah.
Ash? What do you mean air the bonus? Ash is the bonus right now. Oh, you mean bonus unit? Bonus.
Yeah, bonus unit. Sorry.
Oh, bonus slot. Bonus slot.
Unit. Yeah.
Yeah, bonus unit is bonus allies, not to be confused with bonus slot. It's so. Yeah, you're right. So what are you saying? Your scoring is optimal. You have 2 mythics, 3 blessed units, and a bonus unit there. The bonus slot doesn't contribute in scoring. So you have I already saw this at the beginning when you went through your teams. So there's no team error creation here. This is completely optimal. In the case where Ash is not the bonus unit, what do you need to do? I'm not going to answer that for you. I just want to see that you know.
In this case, I would more than likely take out Caden, because Ash would not be the primary carry, because these two are supported to get bonus from his weapon. More than likely, I would take him out, and either whoever the bonus unit is put the bonus unit in for Caden at that point. Cool. That's my idea behind that.
Okay, so you definitely know how to use the system then. I don't need to be explaining that. Team comp. Okay, team comp utilization. What do you do with this team? Like, what are you trying to accomplish here?
Usually it's try to get Ash in a position where she can just enemy phase the units with Kitsune's Fang buffing her with the speed res link. And again, I haven't used much fodder, so I still only have pivot for him. And then it's try to like snipe buildings or snipe certain units with air and dagger. And then sometimes Marianne if Peony or Ash are in range to give them the guidance.
So Ash running distant counter? You said tanking, so is this just even if a unit is ranged, she's just gonna eat the attacks and then you try to clean up on the enemy on your turn? Is that the playstyle here?
For now, I mean, mostly I try to only put her in a position to only fight the range or the melee units for now. I don't run distant. I mean, like I said, I haven't used any fodder really, other than what's on Virion.
Could you play a game for us? Just play a game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I want a visual on this. It should be easy enough that I don't think there's much to do here. Explain your thought process. What do you plan to do?
So knowing the buildings are on the right side and most of the units hover over the left side, I can probably attack from the right side and just put a unit here, being Ash and or Dogger, and or more than likely Ash because she's got to tank the Seliph.
Okay, but this is something that I feared when you mentioned that she doesn't have distant counter. You are presented with a situation involving dancers and range units. What do you plan to do?
I guess try to bait out only the single unit, but then I'm realizing there's dancers as well.
Yeah. This is actually a perfect example of why I was worried about your team comp. Because if you don't have a way of retaliating against range attacks, you open yourself up to dancer follow-up, which could snipe your other units.
Okay.
So you continue thinking through it, and I'm just gonna point out certain things.
For sure, please. Well, I guess in this case, actually, now that I'm rethinking it, I guess actually the left side attack would probably be best. Because I could just break these two buildings with Air and Dogger, and then have Air and or Dogger probably is the best unit to snipe, because she snipes Brammy, and then she doesn't take much damage from these two, I believe. Looking at that. Yeah, let's go for that.
So what's your play here? Hit and sit? Hit and sit?
Yeah, hit and sit.
Okay.
So it'll be...
That's a good adaptation of your strategy.
And then bring Marianne here so that I can guidance dagger after, or I can dance dagger through.
Emo, he's a new player. He probably doesn't even have seals.
I do have some seals, but I mean it's more or less just yeah. Okay, break these two. There's no reason not to, I believe. Up one and.
What turn is it?
Turn 2.
Okay, what do you need to watch out for? Yeah.
Okay, alright. I wonder if actually...
You have such a huge fort advantage, doesn't really matter who you choose to put there. But because of the water, you might want there is a preferred option.
I think it's Marianne.
No, I don't think so. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to run? Is that your play?
I think so, actually.
No, why? Why run?
I believe because I can't. So that's my...
You can get away with anything here. Like, to be totally honest, you can get away with anything because you just have a huge stat advantage, but you should still be considering this at a top level. What can you do here that just works out to make your other turns easier? And putting Marianne there, like, to get her into that position, assuming you don't run, would mean she can't run the next turn because she's now locked. Well, it'd be harder. She'd be locked in between two buildings and water, whereas Dogger's a flyer. So what makes more sense there?
And Dogger at this point. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I believe I still go for this, and then because Bolt Tower Bolt Tower, if I remember correct, it activates on my turn, or it'll activate on turn 3, which will be my turn.
His turn. You have your bolt tower going off on turn 3, and then as soon as you enemy phase on your turn 3, that bolt tower goes off. It's not going to go off here, it's going to go off next turn. Next enemy phase.
Got it. Yeah, I believe I just do this. And yeah. I can't maneuver. I want to put it. So I see. I maybe should have brought air over here because then she could have sniped the pots.
Pots are not that important until you've won the match. I'd say. There's always a way to get pots, even if you're, even if it looks like they're hidden. What I'd be mindful of here is how the units move. Always consider that before you click enemy phase. What happens here?
I believe Yoon attacks first, and then do we bait out? I think we bait out Azura here as well.
Is there rallies?
No, just repos and drawbacks.
Then you are indeed right. You bait out the range units, but what happens with the melee units?
He moves forward. He can't get danced, right? Because Eldigan's not in range.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so I'll put Kaden just in case back here because I have no reason.
Selev's max range is as far as these enemies will go, so you should confidently move your units.
Okay. Okay, and then it's if she can kill him, then we just go for pots after killing him because it's a slow walk for Eldigan here.
Yeah, you're right. Close out the game.
Oh. I'm gonna move anyone else.
Bolt Tower took out your whole team. Good job.
Thanks.
Alright, that shows me that you're not completely reliant on one strategy, which is cool. Like, I was fearing the exact scenario, which would be a dancer on range units. You're just trying to like end turn every game with Ashe, which you're not. You actually adapted to a different strategy even on one team, which is good. But what's better is to just make a team specifically for that reason. So, I mean, you have 5 slots, might as well use them, right?
For sure.
So let's actually try putting together some teams using your barracks, right?
Okay.
Because eventually, like, that team that team that you ran into is a perfect example of a team that would punish someone who plays the exact same way every time. Because you said, yeah, I'm just gonna Ashe end turn. I'm like, no, you're not gonna end turn with Ashe. People will die. So thankfully, that's not what you did. But yeah, obviously the team can be a little bit better for this reason. Emu said, why is there no seal on Dogger? I'm gonna assume you just don't have any real seal option. Do you want to check that?
I do. You
can change it right there. You can change it literally in that menu. But it does.
That's right. Well, I gotta get used to doing that, so.
Change skills, Sacred Seal.
Yes, I do have. I have Igniuspyro I could have used, and even Mirror Stance, I guess, in that case, if I'm using her in that case.
Yeah, you're definitely limited here in options, but...
Yeah. I did have options, which I should have used in the first, either way.
Okay, so what I want you to do is we're gonna just fix up this team, and then we're gonna put in seals, and we're gonna use the lock mechanic. Are you familiar with the lock mechanic?
It's actually new to me, so I'm not actually. Really.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that then. So first of all, this team, what do you want it to be? What is its purpose? Because you used it in many ways already. So what exactly do you want to accomplish with this team? Do you want it to specifically be enemy phase focused? Do you want it to be player phase focused? What do you envision with this team comp?
I believe with how this one's built, I believe enemy phase focus. I think.
I see. You don't have far save, do you? Like
no.
Fjorm or Tiki?
Unfortunately, no, I do not.
Your actual tank options. Scroll down a little. Scroll. It might be better to pick a 3-4 star instead than trying to use one of these 5 stars. Some 5 stars are actually pretty good just at base kit, but I don't think any of these are. Let me double check. Show me again your barracks.
Start from here. Let me know whenever to scroll up after you've looked at everything. These are all pretty much base kit, just to give you an
Can I
idea.
see your Noe?
Yeah. Just the base kit.
I think that ends up being who we invest into, assuming you have Noe copies. Did you end up getting Noe copies while you, like, is the gacha gifted you with Noe?
Let's find out. Actually, there probably is a better one in my barracks because I usually try to keep better IVs of units. No, not there. And not there, so I didn't get better IVs. So give me 1 second. I guess it's not.
Alright. So I guess Yanfei is the way to go.
Okay.
Even at +2.
Yeah, and I don't mind investing in him because he was already going to be a project that I was going to be working towards.
Your timing is just right. I'm not a huge fan of Yanfei because I don't like red tanks, but I think he'll do up until Vault, at the very least.
Cool. Got it. Okay.
You're gonna really want no follow-up though.
Okay.
Where are we gonna get that? Do you have codes?
So I used them because I used up till Nils because it was this is for Virion already, and then this is for future proofing my my Lucina later.
The fastest set of codes you can pick up here, I think, is Adrift Male Corin. Up, yeah, here. So that'll take you 2,400 codes, but that's not too far away from your current code count.
No, it's not.
You alternatively could go down the other code path, which is for Fallen Merida. Also has no follow-up. No. I mean, not down here.
This one.
Yeah. That gives you Mirror Stance and Mirror Stance and no follow-up. I think this one's better.
This one here. Okay.
Yeah, because Mirror Stance is actually, I'd say, also something you want on him.
And I could also give him Spurn if I really wanted to.
You have Spurn?
He's got Wrath, so I'm assuming Ocean's got Wrath.
No, that doesn't matter. Spurn
Oh, wait, did I say... Wait, I meant Wrath. That was my fault. I just misspoke.
Yeah, you wouldn't use that, but...
Yeah. Okay. This also could get me... Okay. This is what I work towards then.
Just intern with Fallen Edel? No.
No.
No. Absolutely not.
I also don't want to re-bless her. I have her in Astria. I don't want to move her. Okay, so Yin Fei is more than likely what we can use then?
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Okay, so let's do this then. I'd have to farm him, but that's okay.
It's okay, you wanted to build him anyways, and he's good.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Why not do that? Let's do manual. How do I do manuals first? I haven't done this in so long. Is it...
Hmm?
Can you not unlock potential on manuals, or am I crazy? There.
You can, but you just can't sort them first.
That's right. Okay.
You're thinking of inherit skill.
Thank you.
I always see complaints that like new accounts don't have it as good as old ones, but your account is already better than mine in a lot of ways.
Oh, I have no complaints. Yeah,
So stuff like just having Plumeria on your account is just like you already have an easier Astra experience than I do.
I mean, and hearing you talk, that's why I went for this reroll.
I'm not even trolling. I literally mean that. Like you genuinely have an easier Astra, potentially an easier Astra experience than I have because of your mythics. Like those define your experience in AR regardless of merges or whatever else you have invested.
Got it.
I see one Noe, yeah, so +1 wouldn't work there. It just totally depends on like how many copies the gacha gave you. But since you can't really rely on gacha as a new player, that means focusing on Grail projects like Yanfei is definitely the way to go. Like 100% the way to go. So Yanfei, you can give yourself that gradual progression that doesn't rely on the gacha never giving you any copies of anything, which is huge.
I just wanted to check something to see. Okay, I do have it, but it's on Fjorm, right? Oh, I do have
No,
it.
it's
Oh,
on
she has
Sylvie.
it.
Sylvie has it, yeah.
She has it at 5 stars. Okay, good to know.
You'll get another one at some point anyway, so don't feel like you have to hold on to that. You should maybe try to get some farm out of it if you really want to like really want to be diligent, but it's not that important.
Yeah, I think on Sylvia, I shouldn't be as like I'm doing the exact same thing with Crom, and I shouldn't really be like that because eventually I'll get another Crom, and I don't necessarily need his 7,000 feathers right now. It's not a big priority. It's the same, you know.
Yeah.
Going off that same thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm assuming you would just do base kit for the most part. I mean, until I can get the fodder for him.
Yeah, to make it as budget as possible, I'd use a bread seal, a 2-charge special. Can I see your partners, like your supports? You have Kaden potentially. You have Kaden potentially. You have NY Valoria. That's pretty good too. Let's just scroll down. Yeah. Yeah, so you could run Breath Seal with like Kaden, or you could run NY Valoria with just like more stats, like stance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could just double stack mirror stance at that point if I really wanted to later, or whatever stance is needed for the situation.
Yeah, just use what you have. I can't tell you to go use Kestrel stance if you don't have Kestrel stance. You could also use Mystic Boost as a form of giving him a little bit of healing, combined with like, I'd say Moonbow over Glimmer.
Over the Glimmer he has right now? Okay. Let's see. What filter do I have for that, though? The only struggle.
Yeah, you might not actually have that option. So just, again, use what you have. But I think Moonbow is a bit better if you have it.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Wait. Python the best source of this?
I'm assuming you don't even have... Gale Force fodder, right?
I have one Cordelia.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Nope.
He might not be able to run hit and run guys if he doesn't have repo fodder.
I do believe I have a few repo fodder here.
Or shove. No, or smite, sorry. Well, not shove, smite.
We'll start with smite. I've got a few smites, that's
Good.
for sure.
Okay, what about repo?
And repo, I believe I have a few. Yeah,
you're set there, okay.
And I know I have a few Wings of Mercy as well, if needed. I think I have I've got a few, one or two.
Hit and run's not that crucial for that.
Okay.
Gale Force requires you have Cordelia's and you have Wings of Mercy, which makes it kind of a hard entry point for a new account. It just means you should be very diligent in saving or using that fodder on specific characters that you know are always going to be used. So, for example, you would probably give your first Gale Force to someone like Ashe.
Ashe, okay.
Because Ashe should be on like every team for late season. Or you give it to the season that's struggling more. So let's say you're struggling more in Astra season, then you would probably give it to Thor or Regan.
Okay. Do you think Reagan's worth having one? If like I only have one Gale Force to give, is Reagan the person I should put it on first if I were to?
I think Thor over Regan personally.
Thor over Reagan?
Yeah.
Got it.
Again, you would need wings for everyone you give for everyone that wants Gale Force. So like, your
Yeah.
Regan wouldn't need to run anything. She could run like base kit with Fury Seal and Fury 3 on A and be an initiator for Gale Force, which would be pretty nice. And then Thor comes in with Wings of Mercy Gale Force. And then ideally you have more characters that also follow up later that also do that. So again, not an easy entry point for your account, just something you got to think about later as you pick up that fodder. Right now, the two team comps you definitely should be trying to run are enemy phase strats, such as Yanfei there, and Hidden Run. Those are like the two you can definitely start off on a new account. So Yanfei can be your tank strat. Believe it or not, Fallen Nettle can work pretty flexibly as both a hit and run unit and a enemy phase unit, but it's very specific. I'm not going to be pushing the Edelgard agenda here and tell you that you're going to be using her in every team. More likely, she'll just shove one of your allies and go hit a pot. My experience, in a nutshell. But probably in the lower tiers, you'll have a little bit of luck. I do feel like the meta and the player base in general is going to consider her very quickly, and you will run into a lot of problems.
For sure. Okay. What is his base kit? Again? Oh yeah, it's Kestrel Stance and Threat and Attack Defense. Okay. Oh, he comes with Astra. I thought he came with Glimmer, I'm not gonna lie. What C would you recommend for him then, if I were to build him?
You have Kazi?
I've summoned quite a few colors already, so let's hope.
I saw Attack Smoke already up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Was it worth it to get him Iceberg here, or just keep
No.
chilling with him?
No.
Okay. I think somebody's asking, just in case. Let me see. These are my grails.
Hold them.
Yeah, I don't. The only one I've done is Eldigan, but that's just because of future things I do want to do with Eldigan later.
Wouldn't spend anything. Not at all.
And then I don't click this owl unless I'm ready to summon, so I've got 154 just sitting in here.
Yeah, don't spend any rails on anything.
Got it.
Your first thing to get with Grails is probably a plus 10 Yanfei. You could use them in Arena and in Aether Raids that way. That'd be a very, very good spot to be in. For being able to mix roles like that in between two modes is pretty huge. So definitely who should be maxed. You might want to just leave them at plus 9. I don't think you have any urgency to bring them to plus 10. In fact, even plus 8 might be fine. To wait for parties and such, because those have some extremely good value if they do run for you, since you're on a Grail deficiency. So, leave them at 8 is what I would suggest. If you really want to be greedy, you could do plus 7 as well. I don't know how much... Who do you have merged for Arena again? Just Virion, right?
Just Virion right now.
Yeah, so realistically, it's going to be a while till you merge your legendaries, and you could very well just leave Yanfei at like plus 7, and then collect the parties and reruns that we get on him, and really be greedy on that. One of the biggest mistakes I had, I'd say, early on was like plus 10ing a Versa too fast. She really could have been left at like plus 8, plus 9 on my account, and I just out of urgency maxed her, and I shouldn't have. So I highly suggest not maxing him to plus 10 and leaving him at like plus 7 or plus 8. You could always pull the trigger up to plus 10 if like your whole arena core is complete other than Yanfei. That's what I would suggest. But realistically for AR, there's not going to be that many scenarios where the plus 9 to plus 10 mattered.
Okay. And even still, like, he's based around my win season, so I'm not even going to be able to use him fully in arena until Lucina gets
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's just too much. Yeah, there's a long wait for it. So, so then I guess let's go back to here then. Missing a team around him, it would still just be these three, no matter what.
You know what? I just realized. You have the codes to get Null Sea Disrupt because you went down the Nils path, right?
I believe I do.
You might want to just do that and then pick up Null. Don't hold on.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not pulling the trigger that
What
fast.
I say right now is play your games and take note of how many times Null Sea Disrupt would have mattered.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright.
So I do think Null Follow-Up is better than Null Sea Disrupt, but having Null Sea Disrupt is not going to go to waste because due to the lock system, you can actually have one Yanfei team running Null Sea Disrupt and one Yanfei team running Null Follow-Up, which is some really good flexibility anyways, so that's why Null Sea on him would also be a good idea, but I don't think it should. I'm personally on the idea that it shouldn't be picked up before Null Follow-Up. I feel like Null Follow-Up should come before Null Sea Disrupt. So just keep that in note. Like, if you start seeing all these games where it's like all these staff healers, dazzle, fire sweeps, and they're just really annoying, don't be afraid to pull the trigger for Null Sea Disrupt. Give it to him, okay? Before you even pick up Null Follow-Up, because there might be there might also be a case of like Yanfei one-shotting everything anyways, so he doesn't like need Null Follow-Up until you get to Vault. Vault is like when he'll probably need it, but while you're climbing, I'm sure there's actually going to be quite a lot of these like staffs and dazzles and stuff that are really annoying where Null Sea's better. So just don't be afraid to just literally pull the trigger on that Fallen Leon and kill him to Yanfei if it comes down to it.
Okay.
Because it's something you would give to him anyways.
Yeah.
As an enemy phase strategy, and because of the flexibility in your team comps, that's what you can do. Let's go back to raiding parties, and I want to explain the locking system.
Okay.
So yeah, so let's assume this team here. Give like put like NY Valor. We're gonna put an example team. Like don't like commit to this fully, but put like NY Valoria here, and honestly, you can probably put Kate in here too. There's some other alternatives you could run with here. You could actually run like Dogger maybe. You could run Brave Marianne. You could even run Brave Erica just to give yourself some flexibility in the phases. Like you can run both player and enemy phase. But if you want to be strictly enemy phase, NY Valoria and Kaden are the right answers for this. But anyway, so what the locking system does is it locks in all your skills and seals for this whole team effectively. So right now you can't really do anything, but just click on Yanfei and give him the Mystic Boost seal, okay? Just want to just provide you the example so you know exactly what's going on, yeah? Go to the next team and put Yanfei with literally all the characters the same again. Because this is what you should be doing. You should have like variations of your team.
Yeah.
So make sure air is in the last slot.
Oh, yeah. There we
go. Okay. So yeah, go to Yanfei again and now give him just give him like the stance, like the mirror stance, right? Lock it in. Okay, so now if you click on Yanfei, you'll see visually that this one has mirror stance. If you go into a game, literally with this team, he always is going to have this build with mirror stance. If you go to your second team, click on Yanfei, you'll see that it's not locked. Give him Mystic Boost and lock it. Jebaited.
You've got mirror stance.
I'm like, game broke. Okay, yeah, so now this one has Mystic Boost. Go to the next team, Team 3, and he should have Mirror Stance. Right, so you go into AR and you choose between these teams. They can have different skills as it is. What this I'm trying to say here is you use your second team, let's say, with Null Follow-Up Yanfei, and then like Team 3 would be like Null Sea Disrupt Yanfei. And that is, that's actually really good because you will be able to handle completely different teams because of that build option. Which is why I said, again, while you're climbing, if you feel yourself struggling with all these dazzle fire sweeps and stuff, just give them null C and use it until you get null follow-up. And ideally, by the end game, you have both and 2 different teams with Yanfei anyways, right? It's going to take a while before you're up on Gale Force and Wings of Mercy fodder. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. So you're not going to be building your Gale Force dream comp in like a month. It's going to take like half the year at minimum to get one up and running. So try to make use of variations in the units you're already using. So this is like literally 2 examples of those teams where you're doing that. As for a different variation on this, so this is honestly good. Like, just farm up your Yanfei, give them skills, and bless your units, and just go with this, okay? I think Valoria there needs to be ally supported with them, right? Can you double check that for me? Make sure you double check that.
Yeah, so I think it is ally support. That's the other reason I think her and Kaden technically don't work together. I would believe.
Yeah, they do. Kaden doesn't care about ally support. No, he doesn't care about ally support.
Oh, I thought he did. Okay, that's my bad then. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, sweet. So you have two supports possibly. You're gonna have a positioning issue here, though. I don't think it's always gonna be easy to get both Valoria and Yanfei within 2 spaces without trouble. But for the most part, you can use his team, and your Yanfei should be able to like crush everything that he can enemy face because of this. So these are good examples of 2 enemy phase teams, and with variations in how you want to use them: healing, null C, null follow up, right? Keep that in mind as you go forward in improving your team. What we want to also do here is hit and run, because there's just going to be teams you can't enemy face for whatever reason. Like Yanfei's going to maybe suffer against certain blue units that are just going to absolutely nuke him off the face of the earth. I don't know, you're literally going to run into Mr. George with Deadeye who has like 90 attack. I'm not even kidding. You might literally run into like a George with Deadeye and 90 attack, and he's just gonna completely blow up your Yanfei. Or you might run into Calm with lethality. Literally Calm with lethality or something with TA, and he just completely blows up your Yanfei. This could happen, and therefore you can't use the team. That's just how the reality of AR might occasionally work. So what we want to do is make a hit and run team. And because I said this many times already, you have already the fundamentals of great hit and run units, and you have choices. Now, your best option, in my opinion, is that really annoying infantry cav unit down there that I saw. Go click on him for me.
Don't do this. Don't bully him.
Right. So you have literally the king of hit and run here. I don't think there's going to be anything better besides probably Brave Erica. Potentially Fafnir with Disarm Trap. But I'm going to be honest. Just fodder Disarm Trap to Yuri and make a better hit and run unit. So,
yeah, that's fine. No, I don't have Fafnir. He was unfortunately the pity breaker that I was unhappy to see.
So, yeah, you have 2 variations in hit and run teams that you should work on, with your core carry being either Yuri or Brave Erica. Not on the same team, though. So, so what you should...
So let me...
Yeah?
Why not on the same team? Is it too much hit and run? Is there too much... There's just not enough...
There's a single unit that has to do the initiation. You're not likely to run into a game where both Yuri and Brave Erica need to hit and run on turn 1 or turn 2. What should be happening is either of them do it. So the rest of your units should be focused on running or cleaning up. So someone like Brave, actually Erica probably still could do the cleanup duty, but realistically, you have enough team slots to just make the team focused on one or the other, as opposed to both being on one. So like Brave Marianne, in my opinion, is a better cleanup potentially than someone like Erica, and at least I think so. This could vary on the team you run into, but like on this team, Dogger is good. Hit and run.
Okay.
Because she provides Pathfinder, which means more reach.
So, I see. Yeah.
So your last slot should probably be Brave Marianne.
Brave Marianne.
Because it acts as both a cleanup unit and as a dancer. Let's check your barracks again.
Tell me if I'm going too fast.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, exactly. So you're literally fine.
Okay.
This is perfect. Again, as I said, farm up your Fafnir, take his flowers and feathers, and then go fodder him to Yuri. I'm not even trolling. You probably should do that.
I will.
If you didn't have Yuri, I would tell you to use Fafnir as your hit-and-run unit. But since you have Yuri, there's no point in using Fafnir. He's not better at that role.
for sure.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask is because we just got him, and I was really curious on your opinion on. And I've already watched your video on him for the most part. I haven't been able to finish it quite yet. But is he someone that you would recommend as a support unit in like in tanking comps, or is it more like player phase comps? Am I? Hopefully, I'm asking that
You could
correctly.
use them in either or.
Either or, okay.
You could literally throw him onto the Yuri team, or you can throw him on the Yenfei team, subbing out someone like Brave Marianne, for example, or subbing out someone like Kaden or Valoria. It doesn't really matter. He's just there to counterpick specific nuisances. It's how I use Loki. I've used my Loki in Wings of Mercy teams. I've used my Loki in tank teams. It doesn't matter, right? The unit's there to just mess up the enemy team. So you throw in Reeve on you again. You have the luxury of team slots, so you could literally do 2 comps with Yuri, 2 comps with Yenfei, maybe even 3 comps with Yenfei, or 3 comps with Yuri, 3 and 2, 3 and 2, something like this, right? And because of your variation in supports, that means that you're gonna overcome a lot of issues.
Okay.
And it's funny because your barracks is extremely limited, but in my opinion, you're probably gonna have an easy time in most games because of what you have.
Got it.
How old is the account?
When was Thorn Atri? 2 months, 3 months almost at this point now?
Dude, you literally could be involved with these units and winning most of your games.
I think I would have definitely been higher if I would have just pulled the trigger on upping my Aether a long time ago.
Yeah, you actually probably would have been there already.
Feels so bad. Yes.
It's okay.
Mega moment.
You could have just asked in the Discord, but anyways, yeah, you'll catch up super fast. As for assists, because I know you seem to be lacking them, I highly recommend working on giving your characters those assists. So Marianne should be running like reposition. Air should be running smite.
Okay.
Dogger can run, I think, drawback.
Sounds about like that sounds really good for the ring. I mean, especially because she's the one who gives Pathfinder, right?
Yeah,
so.
I'm of the opinion that Dogger should run drawback on offense.
Okay.
That's your other team. Your Yenfeis and stuff. Shove on Enway, Valoria, and Kaden. Both should run shove.
Okay.
Your Ash should run repo.
Alright.
Yenfei should run repo as well.
Got it.
Make sure you give these investments as soon as possible, because assist skills are key to winning a lot of games. Running with no assists is just playing on hard mode.
Yeah, which I have been, which is unfortunate. But I did not want to pull the trigger on something if I'm not 100% guaranteed.
Well, these are core units, so they're gonna be used all the time.
For sure.
This isn't like investing in your Fafnir and then he gets foddered.
He's already throwing away my Fafnir like it was nothing.
Because it is. I'm sorry, Yuri is here. Why do we care about Fafnir?
That's okay. Alright, so I do at least have 2 shoves because I know we're getting the free S, so I'll just give this shove and this one to Kaden. And I just wanted to make sure I had shove because that was the one I was very unsure about.
You know, maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on Fafnir. Can you show me his weapon again?
Yeah. Oh god.
Don't worry, I can read these things fast.
Yeah. It seems alright, I think, right?
What's his stat spread again?
With this with the...
He can act as a counter to Ascended Fjorm, whereas Yuri can't. But Yuri can just run an AoE special, and then he can also beat a Fjorm. So fodder for sure.
Got it. Okay.
Make sure you cap his HM and flowers though before you do that.
Yeah. So, who has? I need to know that, just because I feel like I need to give one of those premium skills away, other than disarm trap. I would feel really bad if I didn't.
What are you referring to? Solo 3?
Or Ruse defense, Ruse 4, something like that. The only one I know.
What does he have?
He has.
Oh, Rouse, attack defense. I don't remember who has that. Yeah, you should pick that one up. But I don't know who had that. Who has Rouse attack defense? That might be a Grail unit.
Might be Grail. Oh, is it? Wait, I think I remember looking this. I don't know why I remember looking this up. No, he's attack speed catch or defense catch. That's what it was.
Somebody had it in Grails.
Is it Bertram? Someone just in chat. It is.
Poor,
Oh no.
poor Bertram. But you picked him up, didn't you?
No, I wasn't in time for Bertram.
Oh, he'll get rerun. You'll just pick him up then. Yeah, don't
so I
spend don't spend grails for this. Oh, that means you'd have to wait half a year before foddering Disarm Trap. Oof.
Yes.
Oh, oof.
Oof is right.
That might be a little late.
Did someone have it in the... I could just use Google, but why not just use the app that I have, right?
Summer Sylvain has it in codes. Is that right? Can you check that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Good night, Purple said in chat. Normal too. Is that
well,
is that
hello.
right? There you go. That's worth it. That's worth the 400.
Plus, it also gives some drawback too.
Yeah, because foul play user Yuri needs drawback.
Look, okay, look.
What kind of joke is that?
When you just want to handicap yourself.
When you want to style on your opponents and say, hey, I don't need to use this really ridiculous assist skill.
Okay, well, actually... I'm assuming by anniversary I could do both. I could do all three of these.
I suspect they'll throw like 3,000 codes at us or something again for anniversary. You'll probably get a bunch of Grails codes, and I think the GHB reruns have been everything but confirmed now, so you could definitely catch up quite quickly, and I think you're already in a good spot. So what you need to do is just give your assists, farm up your units, lock in your team, so you understand how the lock-in system works now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every season, ideally you set up your teams with whatever the bonus unit is, bonus hero.
Okay.
You might have to sub out one of the extra units, so like Brave Marianne being subbed out, or Caden being subbed out for the bonus unit, whatever. Bonus unit can usually run something like Smite.
And then like drives or something like that, I'm assuming?
Yeah, but it's not that important. Usually give them like a, I don't know, a seal or something like that. It's the bonus unit should be fairly irrelevant until you get up to Vault. You're just there for points. In Asher Season, you kind of want to do the exact same thing, just with different units. So, Brave Erica can be your... Oh, actually, now that I think about it... Hold on, sorry. Now that I think about it, Erica's better in Light Season, and Yuri's better in Astra. And the reason for this is because Regan can act as a hit and run unit in Astra, whereas Brave Erica can act like that in Light Season. Whereas in Astra, you already have Regan as a potential hit and run, and Yuri acts as the range hit and run. Does this make sense? Was that clear?
Yeah. No,
okay.
it was. No,
okay.
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
So whenever you like come up with units like this, whenever we like get one-offs like this, do you ever recommend using? I know that sounds crazy, maybe, but trait fruits to make them stronger, or no?
Yes, but no. Yes, but no. Not for you.
Okay.
Your account's too new. Your account is way too fresh to do that. Me, I've already done it many times. Summer Sheeta being a strong example of that, where my Sheeta is plus attack minus res due to trait fruits.
Is there any reason you never did it for Loki?
Because it never mattered.
Never mattered.
I've never had a game where I'm like, oh no, my HP Bane mattered.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's also a different case there. Loki's a support, whereas Sheeta is a carry, and a carry needs to secure their role. They need to get the kills, they need to do their job. Whereas a support, if they miss like one unit every 6 games, it's like whatever. A carry missing that is really, really hurtful. Actually, I think I had a game before I trait fruited her where she was literally off because I didn't have her attack boon on some like plus 10 vector or something. So it goes to show you how much something like that matters. So yes, your Yuri there should likely be plus attack in time.
Okay. He also might just be a pity breaker, so I don't... yeah.
You might just get another one, yeah.
Yeah, so not worried about it. I just wanted to what your thought process on that was as one-off carries, because I do see you using some Rashida.
Seasonals, legendaries, and mythics are definitely demanding of the trait fruits.
Until nothing remains. Scatter like ash.
Whereas like perma units, maybe not.
Okay. So in Astra's, I think, the tougher season for me when it comes to supports, I think. Unless I just want to start... because I don't want to flop blessings, I'm assuming, quite often.
Yeah, try to keep you can always like switch your blessings between seasons, but I feel like you have enough of barracks variety to not even have to do this. Your tank carry unit in Astra can probably be Edel. I hate to say this, but it's probably good enough until Vault.
Yeah.
And then when you're in Vault, you're gonna struggle.
Yep.
You might even struggle before Vault. Alright, so here's another little bit of like efficiency. Edel is probably better in Light Season because of Ash, Valoria, and Kaden, whereas Yenfei is probably better in Astra.
Okay, glad I didn't bless Yenfei already.
And the reason for this is just mixing beasts with Edel. You have literally 3 beasts here, which will make Edel fit into this comp way better.
Actually, let me just do this, just because it's my brain needs to...
Your mythics are also high mobility and range, so such stuff like Ash helps out Edel quite a bit. Air and Peony help quite a bit for cleanup, so Edel really appreciates that sort of support. Where in Astra, Yenfei doesn't really care too much about what the rest of his team does. But you already have the benefit of Thor giving special acceleration, like a Lancina. You do know about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you don't really need like NY Valoria there. World Breaker just acts as your Yenfei support.
Okay.
What a stupidly good mythic. I'm just gonna go back to crying with my Altina in a corner.
That's unfortunate. Okay, so Yuri and Astra, who would be... I guess just Reagan as like the other carry if I was gonna make it like, because she's already a pretty strong carry, I'm assuming.
You could definitely make a team around Regan with like Fury 3 in the A if you have it, and Fury Seal, and then yeah, she acts as a Wings of Mercy setup unit. But again, you don't really have Wings of Mercy stuff, so essentially it'd be hidden running with Regan.
And then just using assist skills like Yuri's to get her out or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Okay.
So these two on one team is actually good. Yuri and Regan work well together on one team because they can choose who you want to initiate with, but they can also kind of like repo Kanto each other out of danger. Foul play Kanto. Stupid Yuri. Oh my god, how is that a permapool unit?
And then they tried to come out with Joshua, which I feel like they did him dirty because he's not Yuri, unfortunately.
It's okay. Josh is still good. I'm not gonna call him trash, but he's not Yuri, that's for sure.
Yeah. My thought on... I was gonna actually ask you on this because I did...
No.
Because I know that he's not prevalent anymore. Because I know when I was... Okay. No. Okay. That was fast. Got it. That was quick, I guess.
I mean, again, you can use your favorites. I'm never against not using favorites when it comes to playing the game. So you know how you said stuff like Ledger and Lucina and Ephraim and whatnot? They're not the optimal investments, but if you like them, they're totally serviceable. You could even force Bike if you wanted to, but he's way, way, way harder to use in the current game than he was a year ago.
I'm gonna out myself here, unfortunately, but because of... I didn't have a GameCube at the time that his games came out, so I unfortunately have never been able to. It's on my list of things I want to emulate just to play them, to see how the games and their stories are. Those are the only, I think, 2 Fire Emblem games I have not played.
Well, I'm probably playing Path of Radiance after Sacred Stone.
Oh, okay.
Not from the beginning though. I might be able to dig out my old file that I streamed way back when.
Yeah, I remember when you started that one. Sorry. Never mind.
Mist is gonna be returning to the stream, not Ike. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes, my friend, and then our time is up. But I hope that you're getting a pretty solid idea of not only team comp creation, but proper barracks utilization and a little bit of tricks here and there between the locks and what you want to do long term. I think in a couple of months, your account will be pretty solid.
Do you think Keaton as a one-off carry is good or no?
Keaton is special spiral fodder.
Hey, never mind.
However, he's due for refine soon, so don't fodder him until you see what that is.
It's the same reason I didn't fodder Nyla to anybody. I already know where her refine is, but I have no reason to, because I think her refine's better than her fodder, honestly. I know this is pretty premium, but...
It's okay, follow me on Kandai. He's 1600 codes.
Yep. And so can Ronan to Fury.
Oh my god.
Look, who is this guy? Like, come on. Out of all the archers in the world, who's this guy, right?
This is how you want to use coaching time? Trash talking Ronin? All the Ronin fans are gonna be upset.
Look, Emu's even defending me. That's not even... I'm not being attacked. I guess that's pretty much... The only thing I would ask for, though, is like in Astra, though, because we're using, primarily Reagan or Yuri as carries more than likely. And what support units would I use in this season?
Another dancer.
Just re-bless Ninian and just prop Ninian in there. Okay.
Do you not have Olivia?
No, I
don't.
Too much.
It would be too much red, anyways. But yeah, Ninian would probably be good.
Okay. I could also use... Oh, actually, this might not be a bad thing to use. I do have a few copies of Tethys.
Yeah, that's not bad either. Range is good. And when you have a lot of like melees, range is always good. Try to balance your range, try to balance your colors if possible, even between dancers and non-dancers. I'm saying this as a complete hypocrite as my light season has like 5 colorless and peony, but...
Well, it's unfortunate that most...
or yeah, my Astra season, according to Emu, is literally 6 melee units. It is, yes. When Tiki and Ashnerd and Altina and Naga are all having a good time, it's literally 6 melee units.
Alright, I do think... Oh, one quick question actually before I get off, before we're done here. Is I have not done my free pool for this banner yet, for one specific reason.
Hold it.
Okay, that's what I was... Because only other thing I was going to ask was, would you think it's worth it to pull Brave Marianne to have her for also Astra season?
There is actually something I could recommend.
Okay.
If you need another tank, specifically one to replace Yenfei or Fallen Edel, I do believe Brave Marth as a special spiral build is better.
Oh.
Okay. I've already recommended that to a couple others. And it is extremely good. Special Spiral Brave Marth is actually super strong. If you need another tank, he doesn't really take anything but Special Spiral and you're good to go. And you actually have it lying around in your barracks, so who knows? What do you know?
I'll still wait. I think I'll wait till at least we know what Keaton's refine is at the least. And then I'll pull on this if I need to.
This is I would say this is your replacement to Fallen Edelgard.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If you need another tank, and you could honestly just bless Yenvei between both seasons if you wanted to. So that is like a emergency usage of it, and if you like Marth. Another really good option here would be picking up a one-off of Gatekeeper, because I feel like he's going to enter the meta at some point. He's just so annoying.
I saw that fight. I saw that match.
So annoying. Like, dude is literally going to enter the meta because of just how annoying he is. But let's hold it because you don't know what could happen in a couple months. Yep. You already have Erica and Marianne. There's really no point in +1ing them, in my opinion. So you pick up one of the other two.
Got it. Okay.
You had the other one too. I saw with Edelgard and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Again, hold this as well. And if we get some other enabler like Winter Bernadetta in the perma pool, or it would just like happens to happen, then Lysithea could end up being the best option of this. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
So if there's another Winter Bernadetta in the pool somehow, Lysithea ends up the best here. And then before it goes away, because it will go away before August, if you're still holding it then you can just ask me in the Discord or the stream at some point, okay? To revisit who I think ends up being the best pull before the refines happen.
Got it.
Okay. I'd say that was a pretty loaded session. It's not as loaded as some of my other ones, But
Yeah.
you already know what you're doing, so this is pretty straightforward.
For sure. I thank you very much. Thank you, chat, for listening in. For sure.
It was a pleasure.
Alrighty. I will hop on out. Thank you very much, Teach.
Thank you for attending, Ignius. Have a good one.
You too.
Peace. Stream's not over, chat. Back to this account. For those of you that don't know, I used to do coaching with subs literally 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a long time. I do coaching on Metafy. That's where like the whole interface is. So if you wanted...
I love you all!
Akatudab.
Thank you for the 44 months, Nasher. So Nasher probably knows what I'm talking about because he's been here that long. If you guys want literally an identical experience to what just happened there, that's on Metafy where you can sign up. That is literally what I do behind the scenes in exactly that fashion. There's no strings, there's no anything else. That is exactly what I do behind the scenes in a more private environment between a lot of people that end up signing up for my time in coaching sessions. So that's what you see. However, a lot of people that do sign up tend to be players who... actually, Ignius is one of the better, like in terms of knowledge. I'm not discrediting anyone, but I mean in terms of knowledge, he kind of already knew a lot about Aether Raids and Arena. So it was easier to get into more specific topics with him. But actually a lot of people who do sign up tend to be completely, like, don't ever... I've had people who are tier 1 who don't touch Aether Raids and are really intimidated with getting into it. I've had people who played a little bit and auto-dispatch and just, like, auto-battle. And we've gone from, like, I remember somebody in, like, tier 14 or 12 and getting up to Vault in, like, a month or two. Just with, like, simple comps involving like save skills or usually save skills, but I've had stuff like no-E tanks and whatnot that also do it, so it's not that as intimidating as it looks. But yeah, advanced players have also signed up, so I've had specifically like AR defense, I feel is like really a topic I don't do in coaching because it's so insignificant. So I feel like where a lot of people need help would likely be here in AR defense. Because it's one of the most complicated places to make something good. Or knowing AI knowledge. I've had a couple sessions that focused on AI knowledge, which involved like restore traps, dance traps, rally traps, and whatnot, and trying to understand those too. So that's like the advanced stuff that I've had as well in my sessions. But yeah, most of the stuff has been introductory with sessions. It's really useful. I'm sure I've helped quite a few. Anyways, well,
It's over.